Okay, so there's something going on right now that I gotta really just talk about because I just got off the phone with one of my students who I've had for the last 3 weeks, almost basically the whole year. And number one, I mean, I'm gonna say I'm not saying his name. I'm not sharing like something that everyone's gonna like look up this person, but look, this is just a basic fact. Generally speaking, it's not just this one student, it's many students. And look, everybody is at a different point in their life. I get that. Every mom, every dad, every family is going to be different, different financial situations, different emotional needs, all that and above. Okay? But let's cut to the chase. There's a big thing going on right now. And it's kind of like, in South it's in Korea, it's in Japan, and of course, it's in China. Now, I'm not going to get too in depth with like the psychological and the seriousness of it, but I am going to dabble into the fact that the I don't want to say the sad truth or the unfortunate truth, but the reality of China is pretty harsh. Think about it. You're born into a country with 1.4 billion people, cities like Beijing, 23 million people. Shanghai, I don't know all the specific numbers, but you're talking millions and millions of people in one city. With that being said, competition is very fierce. It's all exam based. When they're in 8th grade, Chinese students, boys and girls, they take a test called the Junkao, and this Junkao is going to determine where they go to high school. And if they don't do good, well, tough luck. And then in high school, just like the SAT in America, this thing called the Gaokao, which is like, for some people, I'm talking like tears and like blood and sweat, like it's intense. Like this Gaokao thing, it did for them. I mean, I don't know what it's like to grow up in China. I really don't. I don't know all the specifics, but like for them, it's like life or death. If you don't do good on the Gaokao, forget about your future. You're not going to get into a good school. It's not going to be a great situation for you. If you do good on the Gaokao, you'll get accepted to a good university and things like that, and you'll have those opportunities and you'll be like in a different class than other people. And coming from America, well, things are, of course, financially related no matter where you go in the world. But still, like, for example, it's just coming from America and now being in Asia, working with Chinese people for almost 2 years now. The thing with these kids is like they never even go outside. Either A, some places the air is really bad and the mom and dad don't want them to go outside. That's fact. Number two, they have so much homework, they have no time to even go outside. And number three, it's pretty cold in China in most places. So again, you're dealing with city life environment where it's not like you finish homework and, hey, let's go outside. And it's like, oh, let me go down an elevator of like 10 floors and then walk outside. It's cold, to the park. I mean, I know there's places cold in America too. But I mean, really, I had this class with this kid, and I said, so what are you doing today? He's like, oh, no school, because we have Chinese holiday now. And he, of course, wants to watch TV and play video games and stuff. And I get that. I was a kid too. But when I said, like, hey, are you going to go outside today? He's like, I don't know. And I said, do you want to go outside? He's like, no, I want to watch TV. I'm like, okay, why do you not, why do you want to watch TV more? He's like, oh, it's fun, it's fun. Outside's kind of boring. I'm like, wow. And then let me take you back a couple, like 6 months ago. I had these two twins, these two boys, really great kids though. Great mom and dad, by the way. I told him one time, like, I know not everyone wants to be like, oh, wow, it's a beautiful sunset. I get that. But like when I was a kid, it was fun to be outside. Like until this, when the sun started to go down, that was fun. Like you wanted to be outside. You didn't want to go in for dinner. I was talking to them and I was like, oh, I showed him this book. And I was like, wow, it's the grandfather, and, the little boy, they're outside in nature. It's cool. And like the air's cool and sunset. And they're having a really special moment in the country. And I told them that. And one, they were kind of like, huh? And I showed them the picture and they were like, and I was like, do you like to go outside, sometimes and watch the sunset, like on a Sunday and, be outside? No. And I was like, it kind of hit me. And I was like, why? And then they spoke some Chinese to their dad, and the dad told me, oh, they said it is boring. And I was like, one, again, I'm not a hypocrite. I know what kids like and stuff. But still, it was like, boom, it wasn't even like a second of thought. It was like, no, it's boring. Like, so I'm telling you all these like situations and stories, and I'm not here to try to like depress you and be like, oh my gosh, like, should I really download Palfish now? Like, is it really good working with Chinese people? It's awesome working with Chinese people. It's the best people I've ever worked with in my whole life. Boom, period, end of story. Chinese kids are awesome to work with. I love it. I like working with all kids all around the world. So this brings up to our next point, the solution. So the sad truth about Chinese children is the fact that they are waking up in the morning, immediately just rushing out the door. And this is nothing like to put down the Chinese people. This is just a cultural thing that's like still shocking for me. And I say this because, when people watch these YouTube videos, and if I say something like this, most people will be like, we're talking about, the sad truth about children in China. And then, oh, they don't take showers in the morning. And what are you trying to say? Well, it's true. Like most Chinese people, a lot of students that I talk to, they don't shower in the morning. They just wake up in the morning and wash their face with warm water and stuff like that. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm painting a picture for you. That's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to create a negative impression or a positive impression. I'm simply sharing my experience and trying to paint a picture of you what it's like to be a Chinese kid. And then, of course, in a few minutes, I'm going to tell you how we can help them. So they wake up in the morning, they wash their face, they're eating like maybe some noodles, some instant noodles, basically like microwave noodles, like no nutrition. They're rushing off to school, like literally rushing off to school. They get there, and then the whole day, it's just 50 kids in a class, basically. Most of them. Not everyone's the same, but mostly like 40 to 60 kids in a classroom. A teacher's up there, most of them are just talking the whole time, and they're just sitting there listening and writing and doing that thing. That's what it is like in these Chinese schools. And I never taught in a Chinese school, but I've been 2 years talking to people. I know what goes on in the majority of these schools, public schools and stuff. So then they go to lunch. They're all eating lunch food. So just like in America, it's all GMO food and filled with antibiotics and growth hormones and, God knows what else. Just like in America, it's the same crap, same food. And it's better because they're eating more soup and noodles and not like so much fried food, but they're still, eating the meat that's been processed in factory farms. So with that being said, after lunch, they go back to class and then they go home. Now, when I was growing up, when I went home, I would eat a snack first. And we didn't have cable TV when I was a kid. We had 2 channels. We had to change the TV with our hands until I was 14 years old, when I bought an N64 with my own money after cutting grass all summer. We'll get to that in a different one. So, when I came home, I had my snack. My mom made me do my homework for 30 minutes, or maybe, I don't remember doing my homework for more than 1 hour right when I came home, but at least 30 minutes or 40 minutes, I would sit there and do my homework. And then I basically just, go to some practice for like 2 hours, then I come home, eat my dinner, and then if there was something to finish on my homework, my mom and dad would look at it, and then I would, continue to work on homework. And as time went on, instant messenger got really popular, like AOL and stuff like that. And then like when 7th, 8th grade, and then high school hit, it was like just school and swimming and then coming home and not wanting to do homework and instant messaging my friends. But with Chinese kids, they don't sometimes even go home. They go from school to another school, or from school to a different class, like piano class or dancing class or drawing class or math class or Chinese class or English class. I'm serious. And it's like that every day. There's no day off. Like Saturday, they're still grinding. And I give Chinese people a lot of credit. I do. And I give them a lot of respect. However, we've got to be thinking about the mental status of a lot of these children. Like serious issues going on. Isolationist issues. And just I've dealt with a lot of students that are in high school and university who very depressed, like on the verge of some really wild stuff. And I've helped a lot of people. I've been on the phone with people. I'll never forget, I was on the phone one time and someone was like crying and like bleeding out on, like not bleeding, but like throwing all their emotion, like talking about their family and the pressure that their mom puts on them, the pressure that the dad puts on them. And like one student went to Japan and studied for like 2 years or got their degree in Japan, and their mom and dad cut them off. Like they didn't want to talk to them at all, period, end of story. That's some serious stuff. That's not easy to deal with. And here we go. What are the solutions? So I just told you guys a lot of wild stuff, but it's all good. Camden Long is here with the solution. And the solution is positive, enthusiasm, attitude, imagination, creativity. Be there for the kids. Now, there's all kinds of teachers, and you guys are watching this right now. Every teacher is different. Some like finger puppets, some like flashcards, and some like a lot of TPR, and some whatever. Everyone's different. And it's just a matter of you finding out what you're good at as a teacher and how to amplify that and how to kind of grow that. Then also kind of touch up the little other areas that you might be lacking on. So these kids, we got to be positive. We got to show them, the people coming from the West, like in America, a lot of Chinese love America, but then a lot of people thinking like, oh, America's crazy and all this stuff. Like, let's show all the native English speakers out there. Let's show them that where we come from, it's a friendly place. It's a place filled with love and warmth and happiness. We want to bring out the best in our culture wherever we're from. And we want to show them that, hey, life is magic. Life is creativity. Life is imagination. Anything that you do must stem from thought and creativity and imagination. So we got to be there for these kids. We don't have to just be there and do slides for them. We've got to be subconsciously thinking about and questioning ourselves throughout the day, like, how can I plant some seeds in this boy or girl that is not only going to help them with developing their English, but also to get them to believe in themselves. That's so important. A lot of these Chinese students that I've had, they don't believe in themselves. And I'm just like, so many people want to talk to me and just listen on some of these calls. Like not the kids, but like the older students. And I'm like, of course you got to do this. And it's like, it's fun because I can share this with the people and they eat it up. So I'll say that, you got 30 seconds. That's one of your big advantages is friendliness, happiness, positive energy, enthusiasm. Show that motivation, show the encouragement. Most of these students never get the encouragement or the positive development that they really need. There needs to be balance on both sides. Most Asian cultures are very strict, very harsh, very perfectionist. So anyway, I hope this video helped you out, give you some awareness about what's going on in the minds of these Chinese children. And we got to be teachers, we got to be leaders for them, and we got to just open up the door to a wonderful world of possibility for them, whether it's kids, students, workers, whatever. Subscribe below. You guys have a great day. Lots of more great videos. If you got any questions, let me know. Adios.